The wind whispered through the skeletal branches of the ancient oaks, a mournful sigh that echoed the hollowness in my chest. I stood at the edge of the forest, the same place where, years ago, my youthful bravado had shattered against the cold reality of the unknown. That night, with Jason, the power outage, the thrill of the forbidden, it had seemed like a game. Now, the memory felt like a warning, a chilling premonition of the darkness that had seeped into my life. The rusted SUV, a forgotten specter from that night, still haunted my dreams. Its dark windows, like empty eyes, seemed to follow me, a silent reminder of the man with the shovel, his wide, unsettling gaze. I had tried to forget, to bury the fear beneath the mundane routines of life, but the shadows had grown longer, the whispers louder. I had sought refuge in the mountains, a solitary cabin nestled in the heart of the Rockies, hoping to escape the lingering unease. But the darkness had followed me there, too, slipping through the broken window, leaving muddy footprints on my floor, a chilling reminder that I was never truly alone. The hand beneath the bed, the unseen presence, the feeling of being watched, that had all coalesced into a suffocating dread, a sense that I was being hunted. The road trip to Maine, a desperate attempt to reclaim my sense of adventure, had only deepened the mystery. The footsteps in the dark, the unseen stalker, the feeling of being followed, it was a pattern, a recurring nightmare that refused to release its grip. I was trapped in a labyrinth of fear, each encounter a piece of a puzzle I couldn't comprehend. I began to delve into the lore of the places I had visited, searching for answers in the whispers of local legends and forgotten histories. I found tales of ancient entities, beings that dwelled in the liminal spaces, the places where the veil between worlds was thin. They were creatures of shadow and silence, feeding on fear and isolation, their presence marked by unsettling occurrences and unexplained disappearances. The forest, the cabin, the trail, they were all places where these entities thrived, places where the boundaries between reality and the unknown blurred. The man with the shovel, the intruder in the cabin, the stalker in Maine, they were not mere humans, but conduits, vessels for something far more sinister. I felt a growing sense of dread, a feeling that I was being drawn into a web of darkness, a game played by forces beyond my comprehension. The whispers in the woods, the boot prints in the cabin, the footsteps in Maine, they were all breadcrumbs, leading me deeper into the labyrinth. I started to experience strange phenomena, fleeting glimpses of shadows that moved on their own, whispers that seemed to emanate from the walls, a sense of being watched even in the most secluded places. My dreams were filled with fragmented images, distorted faces, and endless corridors that led nowhere. I found myself drawn to abandoned places, forgotten corners of the world where the veil was thin. I explored crumbling ruins, deserted asylums, and overgrown cemeteries, searching for clues, for answers. I felt a pull, a magnetic force that drew me towards the darkness, a sense that I was getting closer to the truth. One night, I found myself in an abandoned mining town, a ghost town swallowed by the wilderness. The silence was deafening, broken only by the creaking of rusted machinery and the rustling of wind through the empty buildings. I felt a presence, a sense of being watched by unseen eyes. I wandered through the deserted streets, my footsteps echoing in the stillness. I found an old, dilapidated church, its steeple reaching towards the sky like a skeletal finger. The door was ajar, inviting me into its shadowed interior. Inside, The air was thick with the scent of decay and damp earth. The stained glass windows, shattered and broken, cast distorted patterns of light on the dusty floor. I felt a chill, a sense that I had crossed a threshold, that I was no longer in the realm of the ordinary. I found an old, leather-bound book hidden beneath the altar, its pages filled with strange symbols and cryptic writings. It spoke of ancient rituals, of summoning entities from beyond the veil, of opening gateways to other dimensions. I felt a sense of dread, a feeling that I had stumbled upon something forbidden, something that should have remained hidden. As I read the book, I felt a growing sense of unease, a feeling that I was being watched by unseen eyes. The shadows in the church seemed to deepen, to coalesce into forms that shifted and writhed. I heard whispers, faint and indistinct, like the rustling of leaves in a distant forest. Suddenly, the church was plunged into darkness, the only light coming from the faint glow of the moon through the broken windows. I felt a presence, something massive and unseen, looming over me. The air grew heavy, suffocating, as if the very atmosphere had become a physical entity. I felt a coldness, a touch that sent shivers down my spine. The whispers grew louder, more distinct, forming words that echoed in my mind. "You have sought us," they said, their voices a chorus of overlapping whispers. "Now, you will join us." I felt myself being pulled towards the darkness, towards the unseen presence. I struggled, but my efforts were futile. The darkness enveloped me, suffocating me, pulling me into its depths. I found myself in a realm of shadows, a place where the boundaries between reality and illusion blurred. The air was thick with the scent of decay and the sound of whispers. I saw figures moving in the shadows, their forms shifting and changing, their eyes glowing with an unearthly light. They were the entities from the legends, the beings that dwelled in the liminal spaces, the creatures of shadow and silence. They were the ones who had been watching me, following me, drawing me into their realm. They spoke to me, their voices a chorus of overlapping whispers, telling me of their purpose, their hunger for fear and isolation, their desire to consume the world of light. They showed me visions of other worlds, other realities, where they had already succeeded, where darkness reigned supreme. They offered me a choice, to join them, to become one of them, to dwell in the shadows and feed on the fear of others, or to resist, to fight against them, to try to reclaim the world of light. I hesitated, torn between fear and a desperate hope. I knew that resisting them would be a dangerous, perhaps futile, endeavor. But I also knew that I couldn't surrender to the darkness, that I had to try to reclaim my life, to reclaim the world from their grasp. I chose to resist. The entities were angered by my defiance. They unleashed their power, their shadows twisting and writhing, their whispers growing louder and more menacing. They tried to break me, to consume me, to turn me into one of their own. But I held firm, drawing on the strength of my memories, the fragments of light that still lingered within me. I remembered the warmth of the sun, the laughter of friends, the love of family. I remembered the beauty of the world, the resilience of the human spirit. I fought back, using the knowledge I had gained from the book, the ancient rituals, the symbols of power. I summoned the light, the energy of life, the force that opposed the darkness. The battle was fierce, a clash between light and shadow, hope and despair. The entities were powerful, their darkness vast and ancient. But I was determined, fueled by a desperate hope and a burning desire to reclaim my life. Slowly, gradually, the light began to push back the darkness. The entities recoiled, their forms flickering and fading. Their whispers grew weaker, their power diminished. I had won, for now. The realm of shadows began to dissolve, the figures fading into the darkness. I found myself back in the abandoned church, the first rays of dawn filtering through the broken windows. I was exhausted, drained, but alive. I had faced the darkness, and I had survived. But I knew that the battle was not over, that the entities were still out there, lurking in the shadows, waiting for their chance to return. I left the church, the book still clutched in my hand, a reminder of the darkness I had faced. I knew that my life would never be the same, that I would forever be haunted by the shadows. But I also knew that I had a purpose, a mission to protect the world from the encroaching darkness. I would continue to search, to learn, to prepare for the next encounter. I would become a guardian, a sentinel, a protector of the light. I would not allow the shadows to prevail.